Talking Trees with Lily and Jad. Welcome to today's episode where we're exploring personal fall protection systems in the world of tree climbing. We'll be breaking down the two primary techniques, MRT, moving rope technique, and SRT, stationary rope technique, and diving into the essential components that keep climbers safe. From backup systems to proper gear connections, we'll cover the key safety measures that reduce fall risks and ensure smooth descents. Let's get into the details and understand what makes safe climbing possible.
Welcome to our deep dive. We're going up high today, literally.
That's right.
Focusing on personal fall protection systems for all you tree climbers out there.
All right.
We'll be breaking down the Arboricultural Association's technical guide.
Good stuff.
Now, safety might not sound exciting, but trust me, this guide is packed with insights that could, well, save your life.
Absolutely. This isn't just a dry rule book.
No.
Years of experience all packed in to keep us climbing safe.
So let's jump right in.
Yeah.
The guide focuses on two main systems: moving rope technique,
MRT.
MRT, and stationary rope technique, SRT. Can you give us a rundown for those new to climbing?
Sure. In MRT, your rope's actually moving through the anchor as you climb, like a pulley system. So you're pulling up rope and it's sliding through your anchor point above you.
Got it.
SRT uses a fixed rope anchored at the top, and you use specialized equipment to move up and down that static line.
Okay, so MRT, your rope is always moving. SRT, it's fixed. Now, the guide really stresses a backup system, no matter what. And it digs into the why, not just the what if your rope breaks.
Exactly. It goes beyond that. Like, what about rope adjustments or unexpected situations? You need a backup.
It's like an extra layer of security when things go sideways up there.
Yeah, like a safety net for anything unexpected. So for backup options, the guide lists a bunch. One is 2 whole climbing systems.
You're doubling up.
2?
2 of everything.
That's right. Totally separate lifeline, maximum redundancy. But it's heavier, of course. More to manage.
Trade-offs. What about lighter options?
There are specialized devices. They travel with you on the rope and lock if you fall.
Like a mini safety net following you around.
Kind of. Less bulky than a whole other system, and it locks immediately. But compatibility is key. You gotta make sure it works with your main setup and that you know how to use it. The guide also talks about using both ends of one rope.
Wait, one rope for 2 systems. How's that work?
You anchor each end separately and carefully manage the rope as you climb. Takes experience. You gotta know your rope management. But it's efficient gear-wise.
Like a magic trick. But there's got to be limits to that, right? Depending on the climb.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Planning is key. Assess the tree, your objectives. And the guide mentions another option, ground crew belay.
Really? Interesting. Not the usual backup.
Right. More for lower climbs or when you need precise movement. Needs strong communication, though. Climber and ground crew got to be in sync.
Safety net's a person in that case.
You got it.
So we've got double systems, those devices, the rope trick, ground crews, even adjustable lanyards, though those are more for poles and such.
Right.
Point is, safe climbing isn't just the gear, it's how it all works together.
Yeah. And that includes your harness. Connections are key.
We all know how to put on a harness, right? What's the big deal?
It's more than just wearing it. You got to understand its limits. Connect things to the right points. Wrong type of harness or connecting gear incorrectly can mess up the whole system.
So even with top-notch gear, if you don't know your harness, you're at risk.
That's it. The guide's got specifics on different harness types, where to connect what. Both systems should be independent, by the way.
Independent. Break that down.
Imagine this. Your main system is on one loop on your harness. Your backup's on a totally separate loop. That way, if one fails, the other's still good.
2 lifelines on different spots on the harness. Spreading the load. Smart.
Exactly. No single point of failure.
The guide also talks about positioning. Your climbing system. For safety and efficiency. Like being able to descend without re-anchoring.
Yeah, super important. If something happens up there, you got to get down fast. No time to mess with anchors.
Your escape route's planned out from the start.
Exactly. In talking about descending, the guide mentioned something. I bet most climbers have had this nightmare.
Oh, I know it. Running out of rope. Up in the air.
The worst. So they recommend safeguards, stopper knots, special devices, anything to make sure you got enough rope to reach the ground.
Those little things can make all the difference. So we've got the basics of MRT and SRT, backups, harness connections, descent safety.
A lot to cover.
It is.
Before we jump into anchor selection, that's a whole thing itself.
Yeah.
Got to talk about placement. It's critical for a safe system. We always focus on how strong the anchor is.
Right.
But where it sits in the tree, that matters just as much.
Makes sense. Like building a house. Foundation's key, but if your walls aren't framed right...
the whole thing's messed up.
Damn.
Exactly. And this is where forces come in. Angles, too. Picture 2 anchors in a tree, forming a triangle with your line.
That triangle, we see it in all the diagrams.
Yeah.
What's it actually doing, though, up in the tree?
It's distributing the force when you climb. When you fall, even more so. Spread that force across points. Less stress on each anchor. More stability overall.
Like a suspension bridge. Those cables holding everything up.
That's the idea. So it's not just strong branches, it's how you position them to make that force-sharing triangle. Now, the guide says the angle between your anchors, measured from your line, should be less than 90 degrees, ideally. Why so narrow? Let's say those anchors are far apart. Wide angle.
Okay.
You fall. The force on each anchor, way higher. More stress.
Wider angle, more stress. Could even make the anchor fail.
Exactly. It's physics. Wider the angle, the more those anchors are being pulled outward. Keep it narrow, under 90. You minimize that outward force. Safer system.
Like tug of war.
Yeah.
Closer you are, the stronger you pull together.
Perfect analogy. Yeah. And in tug of war, one person out of place, the whole team's weaker. That's why the guide says, think about your movements when placing anchors.
So not just the strongest branches, it's where they are to move safely in the whole tree.
You got it.
Got to think about how we'll be going around those branches,
yes.
where we need to be to work, how the rope will run.
Right. Picture this. You got perfect anchors. Strong, narrow angle. But then your rope's rubbing on a sharp edge. Or getting caught in branches. The whole system's compromised.
So it's planning a route, but instead of trails, it's branches and angles. You got to see the whole climb in your head.
Absolutely. It's a skill, comes with experience. And the guide mentions something else, often forgotten. Inspections. Your gear.
That's where being a little paranoid helps, right?
It does. Got to check everything before every climb. Meticulously. We trust our lives to this stuff.
What are we looking for specifically when we check?
Wear and tear, damage, corrosion, anything that just seems off.
Okay.
Frayed rope, bent carabiner, a stitch coming loose on your harness. Any of those could be bad news.
No duct tape fixes up there.
Nope. Better safe than sorry. Retire a piece of gear early if you have to. Don't risk it.
Yeah.
And while we're on gear, the guide says, use the right gear. Made for tree climbing.
Not that old rock climbing harness then. Or borrowing from a buddy who does a different kind of climbing.
Right. Tree climbing's unique. The forces are different. The gear's got to be up to it. Specific harnesses, ropes, systems.
Right tool for the job.
Exactly. And the guide goes beyond the physical stuff. Technique matters too.
How you climb.
Yeah. Even with perfect gear, perfect anchors, safety comes down to you. Your skill, your judgment.
Experience. Knowing how to move in the tree. Almost instinctively.
That's it. The guide says practice regularly, ground and in the tree, and keep learning. Stay updated. New techniques, best practices.
So it's not just learn it once and you're good.
Nope. Always improving.
Which brings us to teamwork, especially with a ground crew.
Big one.
We talked about them as a backup, but they do way more.
Absolutely. Communication is everything. Clear communication, the guide says. Set protocols before you climb. Everyone knows their roles, what to do, hand signals, all that.
So it's not just yelling, hey, I need a wrench up the tree.
It's planned out, rehearsed even. Everyone's on the same page.
To avoid those misunderstandings, see hazards early, be ready if something happens.
Exactly, like a well-oiled machine. Climber and ground crew working together. Speaking of working together, let's talk anchors.
The literal foundation of everything we do.
Absolutely. Holding us up there.
The guide gets seriously detailed about them. It's not just find the biggest branch and you're good.
Nope. Lots to consider. Starting with the tree itself, what species is it?
Different trees, different anchors. What's that about?
Some trees are just tougher, stronger wood. Better for anchors. Oak, for instance.
Oaks are good. Got it. What if it's not an oak, though?
That's when you really got to look closely. The guide's big on visual inspection. Any weakness, decay, damage, cracks, splits, fungus, anything that says that branch might not hold.
Like you're a tree detective.
You got it. And size matters too. Thicker branch, stronger branch usually. The guide gives actual numbers. Minimum diameters for anchors. Depends on the climber's weight, the load on the system.
So we're measuring, not just getting.
Right. And where the anchor sits on the tree, that's important too.
How so?
You want it well supported by the whole tree's structure, not a branch that's sticking way out or weak at the spot where it joins the trunk.
Like a beam in a house. Got to be connected to the frame, right?
Exactly. And then there's the anchor's position compared to your climb. Remember, smooth movement, no tangles.
So it's strategic. Anchor placement.
Yeah.
Like planning a ride up a mountain, finding the best path.
Exactly. And just like on a mountain, gotta have a plan B.
Yeah.
Backup anchor. What if your main one fails?
Even if we choose perfectly, still need a backup. Like a spare tire. Hope you don't need it, but glad it's there.
That's the idea. And that backup anchor, same deal. Gotta be chosen right, positioned right, ready to take over.
Anchor selection. It's complex. More to it than meets the eye.
It is. Experience helps. Careful looking. And knowing the guide, that's key.
Well, this deep dive's been eye-opening. All these details about fall protection.
Yeah.
MRT, SRT, backups, harnesses, descending, and now anchors. It's a lot.
We barely scratched the surface, really. There's so much in the guide.
But the point is clear. Safety isn't just about the gear you buy.
Nope.
It's understanding how it all works together. Systems, anchors, equipment, how you climb. Even your own decisions up there. That's your real safety net.
And knowledge is power. The more we know about fall protection, the better choices we make. Keep ourselves and our buddies safe.
So stay curious, keep learning, and climb safe out there. We'll be back with more deep dives into tree care soon. Until then, keep reaching for the sky. But do it smart. Do it safe.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode. We hope you enjoyed our deep dive into fall protection systems in tree climbing. Remember, safety starts with understanding the techniques, having the right gear, and making sure every component works together smoothly. For more episodes like this, stay with us here and support our journey into the world of arboriculture. Until next time, climb safe and stay connected to Talking Trees with Lily and Jad.